I'm just gonna go ahead and take these on off of here. I think these are ready to go. So there we go. Country style ribs with apple butter barbecue sauce, homemade. All right, y'all, let's go take these in the house, try them out, see how we like it. Hey everybody, Mike Chavez here once again. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. All right, y'all, today we're going to go out on my char griller auto Kamado, my little auto acorn grill, and we're gonna smoke us up some country ribs. All right, but not just any country ribs. So we're gonna make a special sauce, a special barbecue sauce for my country ribs, and we're gonna make it out of these ingredients that a good friend of mine, Miss Rhonda from Fishing for Whiskers, sent me some homemade apple butter. If you can see that, homemade apple butter, Miss Rhonda, and some homemade ketchup. Okay, so those are going to be my two main ingredients for my barbecue sauce. So these are going to be country ribs, barbecue country ribs with apple butter barbecue sauce, and we'll probably cook it. We're going to cook them out on the acorn auto Kamado with some apple wood. So y'all stand by. This is going to be really, really good. So let's do it. All right, y'all. So what we have here is 4 pounds of country ribs. Now these are loin country ribs. These are real country ribs. When I say real, so some country ribs are cut from a pork butt. These here actually have the bone. You probably can't see it from the loin back ribs or the baby back ribs attached to these. So these are kind of like baby back ribs but with a whole lot of meat on them. So what I'm going to do, we're going to rub these down, season them up with Cosmo's Sweet Honey Pecan. Okay, so this is really good rub. So let's go ahead and get these rubbed down. So I'm not going to put any binder on here. You can put some mustard or something if you wanted to. Mustard's a good binder. So we'll go ahead and season these up really good, really nice. This stuff has an excellent smell to it. We may or may not wrap. I'm thinking I might. I haven't wrapped in the last few times I did ribs, so we'll see. Alright, so these are all seasoned up. So we're going to let these sit here at room temperature. And let's go fire up the grill. Alright, y'all. Alright, y'all. So we got our Acorn Auto Kamado by Char Griller. Got this set up. So to power this thing, I'm just using a standard power pack, but you got to have this cord that plugs in underneath, or you can use a regular 110 outlet. So we got this going. That's showing 97 degrees on the temperature gauge. So we're going to go over here. We got a mix of used and new Kingsford. So we're going to take one tumbleweed, nestle it down in there. Alright, we'll fire that up. Alright, we'll let that burn for 15-20 minutes, get some coals lit. We'll spread it out. We'll set our temp to about 275. and we'll get the ribs on. As soon as we get the ribs on, the ribs are probably going to take 4 hours, something like that. So we'll go ahead and make our apple butter barbecue sauce up while the ribs are cooking. So we'll see you in a few, y'all. All right, y'all. So these are lit. So now we'll spread our charcoals out. We got what's left of my apple wood right here. So we don't have a lot of large chunks left. So we'll have to kind of double up on it a little bit so we can get good smoke. Okay, a little bit there. That ought to do it. Alright, so heat deflector. Heat deflector in. I think I'd like a drip pan in there here. Hang on, let me get a drip pan. Alright, nice drip pan. Cooking rack. Close the lid down. Alright. So, we're going to go ahead and set this thing. We bring up my char griller app, which we should already done. So we're going to go ahead and bring this up to about 275. Confirm. So 275. They want us to go to D2. There's the fan. So we set our vent to D2. There we go. Alright, y'all. We'll let this come up to temp. Probably take about 15-20 minutes. Then we'll bring the country ribs out. Alright, so our cooker's up to temp. We're a little bit higher than we wanted to be, but that's okay. It should stabilize. So our ribs are ready to go. So we're going to open this up. We cleaned our grates. Our barbecue rub is good. So let's get these on here. Get a little space in between. Alright, I'll let these go for a little while and then I'll come and put a temperature probe in. I want to let these get up to about 165. Then we'll probably put them in a pan with some aluminum, seal them up. Alright then, I'm going to go ahead and put this temperature probe in. So, let me see. And get a hold of this big one right here. Let's see which has it. There we go. Alright, it's got a good amount of meat. I don't want to get on the bone there. Alright, close this up. Here we go. So that'll help me keep an eye on it. Alright, y'all. So when this gets up to about 165, we'll see y'all then. In the meantime, like I said, we're going to go ahead and get this barbecue sauce going. Alright, let's go in the house, get the barbecue sauce going. Alright, y'all, let's get this barbecue sauce made. So, what's in it? We got olive oil, about a half a diced onion, diced very fine, 3 or 4 cloves of garlic diced up right there. Okay. Let's see. This takes Fireball whiskey, Fireball cinnamon whiskey. That's going to be half a cup, 1.5 cups of ketchup. So this is my homemade ketchup that Miss Rhonda sent me, homemade ketchup. Alright, a 1/3 cup apple cider. Let me see, 1/3 cup apple cider vinegar. So we got apple cider vinegar here. We got 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. So we're actually going to be using our W sauce, our Worcestershire W sauce today. Alright. Half a cup of brown sugar. Instead of brown sugar, we're going to use some sorghum. I love sorghum. Okay, that's kind of like molasses. So we're going to use that. What's left in there. Recipe calls for half a cup of brown sugar. Let's see here. 1.5 cups of apple butter. So we got our apple butter here. We'll see how much that is. So 1.5 cups of apple butter. We got that. Teaspoon of ground mustard. We got mustard. And salt and pepper. So let's go ahead and get this started. So what we're going to do, come over here. We got a little sauce pot ready to go. I'll put this heat on low. Fairly low. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and add our olive oil, and onions. So let's go ahead and put some olive oil in here. Okay, don't need a whole lot. Recipe calls for a tablespoon of olive oil. Get that going. We'll add our onions, finely chopped onion. Alright, let's let that cook for a little bit. Alright, so the onions are a bit translucent, so let's go ahead and put the garlic in. So we're going to give the garlic about 30 seconds to a minute until we can smell it good. Alright, so here's our Fireball cinnamon whiskey. We're going to add that next. So we're smelling that garlic pretty good. So we got a half a cup of the Fireball. Lay that in there, give it a stir. Alright, so it says bring this to a boil. We'll turn it down and let it cook for about 10 minutes. Alright, so while that's cooking, I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. Alright, so while that's cooking, alright, we want the apple butter. So 1.5 cups of apple butter. Let's see what we got. So this apple butter is a little bit loose, but it's okay. So there's 1 cup and a half. We'll just use it all. There we go. That's about all that was left. About 1.5 cups. Alright. Ketchup. So it's calling for 1/2 cup of ketchup. So this is homemade from my friend Rhonda. 1/2 cup ketchup. So the vinegar, was 1/3 of a cup of vinegar. So we got 1/3 of a cup here. So we'll go 1/3 of a cup of vinegar, apple cider vinegar. This just happens to be organic with the mother. Okay. So we're looking for 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I'm not going to measure that. I'm going to go 1, 2. Calls for the brown sugar, so we're going to go ahead and put our sorghum. The sorghum might take a minute to come out of this container. Sorghum's thick like molasses. There it comes. So this calls for what, 1/2 cup of brown sugar. So we're going to put a good amount of this sorghum in here. So I think I got this sorghum in my Amazon store. Stuff's pretty good. Alright, this calls for brown sugar, teaspoon of ground mustard. So we'll go ahead, estimate about a teaspoon. Salt and pepper. So it calls for a teaspoon of pepper. I'll put a good amount of black pepper in there. And some salt. Calls for a teaspoon of salt. We'll go with that right there. We'll taste it later if it needs more salt. We will put more salt. So let me get a whisk. Mix this up good. Get that sorghum off the side. It's gonna make a lot of barbecue sauce. I hope it's good. We'll put this in jars and put it in the refrigerator. Alright, let me give this a taste. See what we think. Wow, that's pretty darn good. Alright then. So let me let these onions finish up with this fireball. Got about 4 minutes left. Then we'll dump everything in there. Alright then, so the onions, garlic, and cinnamon whiskey, the fireball, have been cooking for 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and dump our sauce mixture in. Alright. Give it a good stir, nice and easy. Turn our heat up a teeny bit and get this to a light boil. Alright, so once this comes, let's see here, Bring it to a boil. Once it's boiling, we'll turn the heat back down to medium-low and let it simmer for 20 to 30 minutes. Alright, so let's let this come to a boil. I'll bring you back. Alright, so we come to a nice little boil here. So we're going to turn this down as low as it'll go. Give it a little stir. We'll come back and stir this every once in a while. Alright. So we'll let this cook for about 30 minutes. Alright. Let's go check them ribs. Alright, y'all. My thermometer's showing 173. So let's take a peek. We shut the fan off. We got our handheld thermopen. Let's take a look at these bad boys. So, yep, wow. They come up quick because my temperature was a little higher on the grill than I wanted it to be. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these off, put them in a pan. And get this out of here. Put it in the pan. I'm going to put our probe back in. Alright. What we'll do, center this up. Let's put some apple juice in here. Alright, little apple juice. Seal this up. So this cooker ran a little hotter than I wanted it to, so they come up. It's only been about an hour and a half, so we want to bring these to about 200 degrees internal. Turn that back on. So we're showing 158, 159. Alright, so we'll go ahead and go in the house and put that barbecue sauce in jars, and then we'll wait for this to get ready. Alright, y'all. So, according to my temperature probe, the meat is at 194. So, I'm going to go ahead and check it with my thermopen. See what we got. Watch that steam. Yep, 193, 194. We're going to call these ready. So what we're going to do, let me get this probe out of here. Get this out the way. Alright, get this off of here. So, got my apple butter barbecue sauce ready to go. This is only part of it. So let's go ahead and put these ribs on the grate. Alright, so now got my brush. Let's go ahead and coat these with my apple butter sauce. Coat them good. That's the whole point of this video, my apple butter sauce. So we're going to put this on here nice and heavy. All right. Go ahead and close this up. All right, we'll give this about 10 minutes or so. Then we'll put some more sauce on. All right. So let's turn them and sauce them some more. So we'll turn them and sauce them a few times. All right. I think this sauce come out pretty good. We'll see how it tastes on the meat. Tasting it straight up, it was pretty good. All right. Another 10-15 minutes and we'll pull these off of here. All right, y'all. I'm just gonna go ahead and take these on off of here. I think these are ready to go. So there we go. Country style ribs with apple butter barbecue sauce, homemade. All right, y'all, let's go take these in the house, try them out, see how we like it. All right, y'all, so these ribs have had a chance to rest, these country ribs. So let's see what we got. Now that looks mighty fine right there, y'all. So what we're going to do, we're going to try these out. That's what I'm going to do. Those look really, really nice. Glistening. Smell great. So let me take one. I'll get the small, let me see, small one, the smallest. Put it on a plate. We're going to try this out, y'all. What do you think? So I got my homemade apple butter barbecue sauce on there. I got a little here, but I'm going to do, I'll put some on the side for dipping. And we'll see how we like this. All right, let's do this. All right, y'all, here we go. Country ribs cooked on the Acorn Auto Kamado, the char griller Acorn Auto Kamado. Look at that. Thing looks awesome. All right, let's try it straight up to begin with. Y'all ready for this? I'm definitely ready for this. Taste! Oh my. Yes, indeed, you really can't see inside there. These are tender, juicy. I'm going to try to bite the other end. Do a little dip in the apple butter barbecue sauce. Taste! There we go. Tender, juicy, full of flavor. That barbecue sauce is definitely a winner. Now you don't need homemade apple butter. You can just buy apple butter from the store and make this. So this is actually Fireball apple butter barbecue sauce. I will leave the recipe below if you want to try it out. I bet this stuff would be great on chicken also. Chicken wings, Fireball apple butter chicken wings. I might be in my next video. Alright y'all, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a thumbs up. And y'all, put some comments below. Let me know how you liked it. Let me know if you have any questions. Also, don't forget, we have more videos over here you can watch. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Alright y'all, thanks for coming by. We'll see y'all next time. Bye everybody.